those who are new, welcome. Today I'll be drinking, this is an organic wine. It's Zweigelt from Biorebe. I hope I'm saying that right. It's from Burgenland. It has 12% alcohol. I don't know if it's good or not. You know, sometimes with this vegan stuff, the taste is not always what you expect. So let's see. Don't judge a book by its cover. So today I thought I'll be reading from the monitor because holding my laptop the whole time is a little exhausting. Anyway, cheers. No. No, thank you. No. I knew it when I bought it. It wasn't going to be good. But I don't know why. Anyway, story of today. Yeah, it's not an easy one, but I'm going to try my best. So, hi. October of 2019, I was raped coming from my night shift. I work as a nurse near Frankfurt, Germany. And on this fateful day, I was so tired, I just wanted to go home, take a shower and rest. Unbeknownst to me, danger was lurking around the corner. It's not a long walk from my work to my apartment. So there I was walking, listening to music, and then all of a sudden, someone put their hand on my mouth from behind. I tried to scream, but to no avail. Tried turning around to see who it was or what was going on. That's when he showed me the knife in his hand. Scream again and I'll kill you. That's what he said. It was around 6 a.m. and in October, it's still quite dark outside. There was no one in sight, and they managed to drag me into a more secluded area. I was terrified. I thought this is the day I die. He pulled down my pants and he raped me. Knife at my throat, cold wind blowing. It felt like years before he finished. After he zipped up his pants, he said, I always wanted to try a black woman. And then he left. I stood there in shock. I couldn't think, couldn't move. It felt like I was outside of my own body until my phone rang. It was my husband wanting to check where I was since it was almost 7 a.m. and he would have to leave for work around 7:45. I told him I would be right there. I put my pants up, gathered my stuff, and went home. I cried the whole way there. I pretended like everything was fine. When he asked if I'd been crying, I just said it had been a long night at work. Hubby left around his usual time, and as soon as he left, I went to the police. They did all the necessary procedures, went to the hospital with me. I requested one that I didn't work at. They gathered all the evidence, and the therapist was later sent in to talk to me. I went back home and continued on like everything was fine. I changed my route, how I walked to work, and sometimes I asked my husband if he could drive me. About 3 weeks later, to my absolute horror, I found out I was pregnant. And I knew it wasn't my husband's. I went back to the hospital which had done my rape kit. They already knew my story and I felt comfortable there. So I asked for an abortion. I went through all of this alone. I am afraid of telling my husband because I don't want him to look at me differently. He noticed that something was not right, but he didn't pressure me to talk. Then COVID happened. And as a nurse, I had a lot of work. This was a good distraction for me. But now things have calmed down. And that which I had buried deep down has surfaced with a vengeance. A few weeks ago, I started having vivid nightmares. And I wake up screaming. I try not to fall asleep, but that hasn't been working. Hubby first thought it was work stress, but now he knows that something is really wrong, and he wants me to tell him what it is. I feel like if I tell him now, after a year and some months, he would definitely divorce me. But on the other hand, I really want to tell him and just be over with it. What should I do? S. This is a tricky situation. But all I can say is a marriage with secrets is very hard. And my suggestion would be you tell him. And if you're not going to therapy, it's better you start now to go to therapy. It's not cheap, but there are affordable ones which are offered by the Krankenkasse. The Krankenkasse. So I think in Germany you also have a Krankenkasse. If you can go there and tell your story, I think you could get a free therapist if you can't afford one. And if you're afraid to tell your husband alone, I would suggest you tell him during therapy. If he goes with you, maybe. I don't have a lot of context as to why you don't really want to tell your husband. It might be a private thing, which I understand. In a marriage a lot of things happen, and you might be afraid of telling him for some other reason. And if you tell him when a therapist is there, I think it would be easier to gauge his reaction, and I don't think he would overreact if someone else is there. Because honestly, the truth always comes out, and it's better he hears it from you than from someone else. And anyway, it's just good for you to tell him, because these nightmares that you're having now, if you didn't know, it's a part of PTSD. Yes, rape victims can have PTSD. It's not only for soldiers. So please talk to someone. I just read that you saw a therapist the day you were raped, and you didn't specify if you're still going to therapy or not. But if you're not, please talk to someone. This was a traumatic experience, and I just hope your husband understands why you waited so long. And I think if he really loves you with all his heart, with all his being, he will understand that it wasn't as a simple situation for you. And I really hope he understands and you get the help you need. And I hope your assailant gets caught, because I think that's also something that's causing also these nightmares, because it's unfinished business. Because now every man you look at in the dark or whatever, you just think, maybe is this the person who raped me? So I really wish he gets caught, and we fingers crossed. Hugs and love to you. It's not an easy situation, and thank you for writing your story to me. Yeah, so have a nice day. Those who want to write their stories to me, please feel free. Anything you want to write to me, I will keep it to myself. Okay, not to myself, but I read it here, but I will not expose who you are if you don't want me to. Please have your trust in me. I can keep a secret. I'm an Aries. Aries mind their own business. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and yeah, have a nice weekend, and see you next week. Much love. Bye.